So the pace is very high here at the Paradox office because it's not even been, it's been about 6 months since Crusader Kings II came out, and we've already had one expansion, and you're working on another one. Can you just give us a brief outline of what Legacy of Rome is?
Legacy of Rome is about the Byzantine Empire. That is the eastern half of the old Roman Empire, which we know today as the Byzantine Empire, and back then they probably just called the Roman Empire still. So it kind of focuses on stuff that's going on in the Byzantine Empire, but then we also throw in lots of other interesting improvements to the game that we feel suit this expansion or this DLC.
So what kind of, because I understand when you focus in on something like that, you can sort of add more depth to that sort of area of the game. What kind of things can players expect in that sense?
Well, the main thing with the DLC is the retinue system, which is basically the kind of gradual growth of standing armies in the medieval period. Because as the game starts, you raise your vassals' levies and the vassals of your vassals and so on. You call your bannermen, you might say. But in the later period of the game, we approach the EU era, or the Europa Universalis time. So what we're doing is we're gradually kind of phasing over to a system where you have standing armies that reinforce rather than these, seasonal levies that you begin with.
So how has that changed the gameplay, and sort of what does that add to it?
Well, it changes the way you basically wage war, because you can rely on these armies more. You have them standing around, you can appoint leaders to them ahead of time basically, and arrange them as you like. And it's another feel to the game where they actually reinforce as well. The normal levies don't reinforce. If you lose them, they're kind of gone, and you have to re-raise them. So it's kind of another flow to the game.
And I suppose it also has sort of ripple effects into economy and that sort of thing as well, and perhaps diplomacy as well.
It does, yeah. I mean, as time progresses, you can have larger and larger retinues, but on the other hand, you can have, the levies grow smaller. So what this means is that, you have to kind of adapt to the times as they change. Basically, you can't rely on your old levies anymore, so you have to use these retinue forces.
So Crusader Kings II was, of course, very popular, and a lot of players are out there. Do you see a lot of them adapting sort of Islam now, and do you feel that is that the way you want players to sort of build the game through expansion and expansion?
Yeah, that's the new kind of DLC model we have. We're trying it out for Crusader Kings II, where we kind of keep improving the game, and many of the improvements are not actually in the DLCs, but the DLCs pay for the improvements, so to speak. So some features are in the DLC, and some we give out for free, basically.
Through patches and
so on. I mean, many areas of the game are fairly rudimentary. You have the tech system, you have the plots, for example, that people usually ask for more plots and more improvements and so on. And that's where we're trying to go. We're trying to improve the base game to bring it to the kind of level of complexity we have in our other games eventually.
So can you describe the Crusader King II team? Obviously it's not as big as it used to be, but there's still like a sizable team here that's working on the game.
Well, we're 3 people, so it's not that sizable.
It's a small size. That's a size, right?
Yeah, as Paradox goes, it's fairly large. I mean, it's, when I made the DLC for Europa Universalis Rome called Vea Victis, it was just me, basically, and some graphics guy from time to time. So we've come a long way since those times.
And is it a fulfilling thing to be able to continue to work on a game like this? Small team, but sort of just focus on sort of, it's almost like a sort of therapeutic, you're never done with your piece of art. You can always sort of, do something a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a lot like that. I mean, I see it as a privilege, because even when we made the original game, we had so many ideas kicking around, so many things we wanted to do, and now we get a chance to actually do these things. You know, I probably will grow tired of this after a while, you know, but for the moment, you know, I'm happy to keep improving on the game. Absolutely.
So I guess the next question would be, but it sounds like you continue to sort of maybe not keep the exact same pace, but sort of work in a similar way going on as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have the next few DLCs planned, and you know, the time frame is going to be similar as it looks now. One of them is going to be slightly bigger, and the other one is going to be pretty much like this one, or maybe Sword of Islam, something like that.
So lots to look forward to in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, wait for it, and you're probably going to get what you asked for.
So keep hitting the forums, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, that might be saying too much, because people ask for the weirdest things, but you know, some of the most requested features will probably make it into the game eventually.